Okay, here's warm-up 1.4. We're going to first find the slope of a line through these 2 points. So you could plot them and kind of count the rise and run, but that seems to be more work than it's worth. When I just have the coordinates of 2 points, I would choose to use the slope formula, which is going to look like this. We're going to subtract the y's in the numerator and subtract the x's in the denominator. So I'll call this one x1, y1. It's just my first x and my first y. And here's my second x and my second y. Okay, so when I plug these in, my y's, I'll do 3 minus 4. And for my x's, I'll do 5 minus 2. Now, you could have subtracted in the opposite direction, so you could have done 4 minus 3 and 2 minus 5. And that's fine, but if you went the other way, you need to go the other way for both of these. Okay, so I was subtracting from this point to that one. So you need to reverse both of those if you wanted to reverse them, and then it would still work out. Okay, so 3 minus 4 is negative 1. 5 minus 2 is 3. So my slope then is negative 1/3. Okay. All right, now let's write an equation in slope-intercept form. So you got to know what slope-intercept form is. That's this one, y equals mx plus b. That's what I want my answer to look like. Okay, and it for a line with a slope of 2 that passes through this point. Okay, so there's 2 things I need. I need m and b. So using y equals mx plus b, I already know the m because we're told that m is 2. So y is going to equal 2x plus b. Okay. Now, so it's going to be y equals 2x plus or minus something. I need to figure out what that something is. A lot of times I see people just choose one of these numbers and plug it in for b, and you're most likely not going to get the right answer unless there was just a coincidence there. Okay, there's 2 different ways to do this. One thing you could do is write the equation in point-slope form and then convert it to slope-intercept. That works fine. Or you can do it the way I'm going to do it, which is plug in your slope, and then once you have the slope, plug in this xy pair for x and y. Okay, so I'll put a 1 in for y and a 1 in for x. They're both the same this time, but be careful you get them in the right slots if they're not the same. And then I'm going to solve this for b. Okay, because I already know it's y equals 2x plus or minus something. Now I can figure out what that something is. So I've got y equals 2 plus b, and then I just need to subtract 2. And b equals negative 1. And now I can finish writing this equation, right? So now y is going to equal 2x minus 1. Negative 1 was the b. All right? All right, let's try another here. We're going to write an equation in slope-intercept form. So again, y equals mx plus b. And this is a line that goes through these 2 points. So what I'm going to need to do is find the slope. Since I wasn't told the slope, I need to find the slope. You always need the slope to write an equation. So if they don't give you the slope, they should give you a way to find it. So here we can use the slope formula again, like we did in that first problem. Okay, I'm going to subtract my y's in the numerator. So I'll do 6 minus 2, and then I'm going to do 2 minus negative 4 in the denominator. So that gives me 4 over, and this would be the same as 2 plus 4, right? So 4 over 6. Let's go ahead and reduce that to 2/3. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, y equals mx plus b. Now I've got the slope part. So I still need the y-intercept, and I'm going to do the same kind of thing I did on the last problem. I'm going to use one of the through points. So I'm going to use one of these 2 points, and it doesn't really matter which one. You could use either one. I tend to just use the first of the 2, but this will work fine with the 2, 6 as well. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 2 for y, and I'm going to plug in negative 4 for x, and then I'm going to solve this for b. Okay, so let's think about this. This is going to be negative 8/3 because it's 2/3 times negative 4 over 1, right? You multiply straight across. Okay. So I am going to add 8/3 to both sides to solve for b, but before I do that, I'm going to need a common denominator. So I might as well get that right now by multiplying 2 by 3/3. So now I'm going to have 6/3 equals negative 8/3 plus b. I'm going to use this space here. I'm running out of space. So now let's add 8/3 to both sides. Okay, and now I'm going to get 14/3 is b. Okay, so the two important things that I needed were the slope, which I found here, and now the y-intercept is the b, and I'm going to put them both together, right? So y equals 2/3 x plus 14/3. Okay. All right, last problem. We've got this XY table. We're going to use a calculator to write the equation for a line of best fit. So if you plotted all these points, the line of best fit, it could be that all these points are actually on a straight line, but most likely they're not going to be. But the line of best fit is the line that most closely fits those. Okay, so you can do this by hand, but it's not an exact science. But you can also use your calculator, which gets you the best possible answer. So I'm going to go to the stat menu. So the stat menu, here, let me put my calculator there so it's not blocking all this stuff. The stat menu is near the top middle there. Okay, I'm going to hit that button, and I'm going to click edit. All right, I'm going to hit enter. So the very first option there is edit. Oh, and I've got some numbers already in here, and these aren't the numbers that I want. Okay, so this is an XY table. It's just on its side. So this first list, L1, is going to be my X's, and there's my Y's. So you can clear those out one by one by hitting clear and enter on each entry. But you can also go to the top where it says L1, highlight that, hit clear, and then enter, and those are all gone. You can also just write right on top of those values, but I like to just clear them all out from the beginning. Okay, so now I'm going to put in my X's, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to hit 1, enter, 2, enter, 3, enter, 4, enter, 5, enter, 6, enter. I hit enter after every one I hit to enter them. You could also use the cursor instead of hitting enter. Okay, and then for my Y's, when you do -2, use this negative button with the parentheses at the bottom, not the subtracting. We're not doing any subtracting here. We're hitting -2, so I want this negative at the bottom. So -2, enter, then 1, 3, 7, 11, 13. Okay, so now I have my my XY table entered into my calculator. Okay, so now that I got it in there, I'm going to go back to the stat menu. I'm going to hit that stat button. This should stay saved in your calculator. Just we're going away from that screen, but it's still going to be in there. Okay, and now I'm going to go to the calc column. I want to do a calculation with these points, and I'm going to do what's called a linear regression. All right, so I'm going to go down to this fourth option, linear regression, and hit enter. And you can change the lists. I always just keep it on list 1 and list 2. I don't like to have other lists in there. So I just scroll past this stuff and hit calculate. You might not even see the screen on some calculators. Okay, and then I get this. All right, so y equals ax plus b. They're telling us our line is going to be in that format. Okay, and I'm going to put about because I'm not going to write this whole decimal, but they're saying that the a is about 3.11. Then I got the x, and then I'm adding the b, which is -5.4. Okay, and there is my line of best fit. The r is called the correlation coefficient. The closer that is to 1, the better fit this is. And it also means it's going to have a positive slope, which this does. If these points all fit in a line with a negative slope, this would be close to -1. And if you get something close to 0 for your correlation coefficient, that means the line is not a very good fit. You might not see this on some calculators. You might have to go to your catalog and turn it on if you want to see it, but that's for another time. Okay, so I've got this answer. Now let's use this to predict what y will equal when x is 31. So all I have to do here then is take 31 for x and do this calculation. So let's see, 3.11 times 31, and I'm going to subtract 5.4 from that, and this is 91.01. And you know, I rounded the 3.1 number a bit, and I'm rounding. So this is approximate, but around 91 is what you would expect based on that line of fit that we calculated. Okay, that's the end of the warm-up, and I'll see you next time.